Hello everybody, it is another episode of Drawing with Waffles, and this time I'm gonna be drawing me. And like always, I start drawing small and then enlarging it to the size I need. I really don't know why, I just find it easier if I've zoomed into the canvas and I can't see any of the edges of the canvas, and I can draw so much better. Like, I feel more free. Like, I'm like, oh, I've got all this space. But if I'm zoomed out and I can see the ends of the canvas or the piece of paper, then I like stress out. I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure it fits. And then, I don't know, it just messes with my brain and I can't draw. So I always start small and then just enlarging it to the size that I will end up needing or I've planned to need. And then once I have the overall pose set up, then I will start a new layer and start my second sketch layer, which actually for this drawing ended up being my final sketch layer. Well, I usually do 2 sketch layers and then I ink it and then color it. For this one, I just only did the 2 sketch layers, then I changed the second sketch layer to a black color and then colored underneath it, and then I added like a bunch of shading, and I also added like an over layer where I added some painting on top, sort of. So it's a bit different than my usual style, and I kind of was just playing with it and having a little bit of fun, and I actually really like the way it turned out. It's a completely, it's very different from anything I've done before, and I like that it looks sketchy but also almost complete at the same time. I don't know if you'll agree with me. You can let me know in the comments what you think of this style. I don't know if it actually saved me any time. I think it ended up spending about the same time I would spend on a normal picture, so I don't know if I'll do it a lot in the future. But I do like the way it looks, and overall it was a fun experiment. As you can see, I tried a different face, but I ended up liking the first face I drew better. I just adjusted a little. I made the eyes a little bit smaller, and I made this mouth much smaller, and just made it fit the face a little bit better. And after that, yeah, it was a lot more... I was a lot happier with the first face that I drew than the second one. The second one was very rushed, and I was just like, well, maybe it would look better if I tried it this way. But I decided to go with my first gut instinct. And then here, like I said, I hid the first sketch layer and then changed the second sketch layer to a... I don't know if it's a complete black. It's almost like a very dark gray. I don't like to use complete black for sketches that I change to line art just because I feel like it's a little too harsh with the whole sketchy feel, and I just prefer it that way. I don't know. And it doesn't even end up mattering because I go over afterwards and change the color of the line art so that it more resembles the colors within the line art, and it makes it even more subtle. So I don't know, it's just, it's just habit, I guess. And then here, after I had added the color to the jeans, I realized it wasn't quite the right color, so I used a tool in Photoshop where you can adjust the hue and saturation, which is the hue and saturation toolbar. And then I just sort of like played with it until I got the color that I wanted, and it felt a little bit more together with the rest of the drawing and the colors in like the sweatshirt, and it just kind of flowed a lot better. I'm not gonna lie, painting jeans and drawing jeans in general is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't do it that often because not a lot of the characters I draw wear jeans, but when I draw someone who wears jeans, you can bet that I will spend an extra 20 minutes on those jeans, and I won't even realize the time went by. I'll be having so much fun. I just like to add like the weird strands and like the way when like if you were to rip your jeans and there's like all those extra threads like sticking out and they're like a lighter color than the rest of the jean, and because of the thread they use, and I don't know, I just like trying to emulate that in the digital drawing form, and I think it's a lot of fun, especially if you use like a dark wash jean and then you use a pretty light color to like accent that. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot, and it is just a guilty pleasure of mine. Oh, and then in my arms, I gave myself my Wacom tablet, which I've had for over 7 years now, so it's an oldie but goodie, and it still works great, and I love it. And then underneath that, I have the sketchbook I'm actually going through right now, which is a Canson mixed media sketchbook. I really like it. It's a very nice size. It's huge, and you can put all your drawings in there, and that's great. And then in my pocket I have my phone because you can't really go anywhere without your phone, and so no self-portrait would be complete if I didn't have my phone. So, and then when it comes to coloring hair, I've realized it works really well if you start lighter than the color you're actually going for, because hair has so many different colors and like dimensions to it and the way light hits it that it's nice to just start light and then add layers of dark darker and darker colors, and then you almost get that like hair feel, because hair is very difficult to color just because of all those strands and the way they're all going to react to light differently. So I like to start light, and then I added the shading, and when I shade I like to add a darker color and also add like a bit, I like to change the actual hue a little bit, and then it adds a little bit more dimension. So that was that. And then after I finished the hair, I actually realized it wasn't quite my hair color. So again, I went back into my hue and saturation toolbar and I adjusted it a little bit more until I got to the color I like. Then when everything in the picture looked just about right, I added some strands of hair and some freckles. And I think I was done. Yeah, I'm done. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw myself. I've actually been planning to draw myself since I started this channel, and every time I tried, they just didn't quite turn out the way I wanted them. But this one's finally one that I'm actually kind of proud of, and I experimented a little, so that's always a little bit extra special as well. So thank you guys for watching. If you'd like, you can check out some of my other videos or subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a delicious evening, Farnham waffles. Bye.